Welcome. What story shall I share with you today? Please close your eyes quietly, listen carefully, and immerse yourself in our tale. Today's story is about a man who lost a loved one and found himself alone for a moment. Only after losing his beloved does the man realize how much he loved her. Let's listen to it together. The title is Light Gone, Shadows Left Behind. Not long ago, my wife passed away. Honestly, I can't say that we were very close. After we had seen our children off into their independent lives, we barely exchanged a few words a day. But it was only after my wife died that I realized how much I loved her. Thinking that she was no longer by my side, I couldn't focus on anything. I no longer opened the store that I had run all my life. I just shut myself away in a room, not doing anything, just staring blankly at the ceiling like someone waiting for death. It was the same that day. I was sitting in a corner of the room, gazing blankly at the dark ceiling, when suddenly someone shook me awake. "Honey, honey! If you're going to sleep, at least lie down." Surprisingly, it was my deceased wife. The wife I had longed to see was suddenly there in front of me. At that moment, I started crying like a child. "Are you not fully awake? Why are you suddenly crying? Really? Stop crying and go to sleep." My wife soothed me and led me to bed. I lay down with her help, and as soon as I did, an unbearable torrent of emotions began to flood over me. And without realizing it, I asked her, "Will you still be here when I wake up? You won't leave my side again, will you?" "Of course." "Where would I go?" My wife answered with a sad smile. Reassured by her words, I fell asleep smoothly. Ah! A while later, I woke up and looked around. But as expected, there was no sign of my wife. It was a dream I had known from the moment my deceased wife appeared. It was just a fantasy I had created. Yet, I wanted to believe it. I wanted to be together by any means. "Honey." That was when I heard a faint sound from beyond the door. Since my wife's death, I had been living alone in this house. But there was a sound, and it continued, unabated. With a sense of disbelief, I opened the door and stepped out. There, in the kitchen, was my wife, cooking. A scene I thought I would never see again unfolded before my eyes. Was I still dreaming? As I stood there speechless at this unbelievable situation, my wife noticed me and greeted me first. "Did you sleep well? Honey." Only then did I truly realize. The wife in front of me was not a dream anymore. This time, I did not cry. I just ran to her and hugged her tightly. She didn't push me away and silently embraced me back, and we held each other for a long time. "What's going on?" After calming down a bit, I had to ask. "How did she come back to life? Or is she really alive?" "What do you mean?" She knew what I was asking. Yet, she feigned ignorance, and seeing me struggling to speak, she giggled and placed her finger on my lips. "Let's not ask anything. Let's just live like this, okay?" I nodded. Yes, how it happened doesn't really matter. What matters is that she is here with me now. From that day on, I no longer wondered about her existence. We simply spent our days together. We cleaned and cooked together. Like when we first met, we went to the movies and shopped together. On nice days, we walked in the nearby park. Such happy times. Why hadn't I thought to spend time like this before? What was the use of earning an extra penny? Why had I neglected my family for the store? On a day filled with such happiness, my son, who had never visited since he moved out, came home. I had only seen him recently at his mother's funeral. "What brings you here?" I asked cautiously. he replied in a stern tone. "What have you been doing lately?" "Just closing the shop and spending a happy old age with your mother." I don't know why I was so obsessed with money. "Listen, your mother? What are you talking about?" "Mom's already passed away." "Yes, I know. But now she's just as alive as—" "Stop, just stop!" My son, shouting to stop me from explaining my mother's presence. He bit his lip with a terrible look and said, "What have you been doing to get calls to me?" "Calls? People say you've lost your mind. That you talk to yourself. They say to take you to a psychiatric hospital quickly. If this continues, I will take care of you. Come with me. Stop. Just stop." "I understand, so let it be." My son tried to persuade me to go with him before it got worse, but I promised not to bother you anymore and sent him back. After my son left, I collapsed weakly on the sofa. My wife just looked at me with a sorry expression. Is this the end? I knew it. I knew that all these moments were nothing but lies that had to end someday. Yet, I hoped they would last a little longer. So I pretended not to know. But now it seems like it's time to let her go. Was it hard for you? Despite my pathetic state, she had not ascended to heaven and had stayed by my side. She shook her head as if it was not now, but ultimately, she had been worried about me and could not rest even in death. I'm okay now. Thanks to you, I can live on my own now. Her presence had given me time to prepare emotionally. Not only that, I had learned to cook and do housework from her. Now, I can live on my own without her. So, it's time to let you go. Thank you. I was so happy with you. I was happy to be with you too. I'm sorry I couldn't make even one good memory. I'm sorry too. For leaving you alone like this. I love you. I love you. Slowly turning into light, my wife's form disappeared as tears streamed down my cheeks. She approached me slowly, and we kissed, and then she was gone. After that day, I cooked and did the housework on my own. I shopped and walked alone. I restarted the store. It wasn't for the money. I just wanted to show her, watching from heaven, that I was okay. That's how I started living a life without her. How did you like today's story? Have you fallen asleep already? If so, we hope you have sweet dreams. This was our 4th Dreamtime story. Light gone, shadows left behind. For kids and adults who need a break. Thank you.